Associates Principal and former Clinton advisor Richard Goodstein, along with Proactive Communications President Mark Serrano. Gentlemen, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Maria.
Good morning, Maria.
So let's talk about this latest dump of emails. Mark, what's your take on what we've learned last night?
Well, there are a lot of tidbits in there to be looked over, and we'll hear a lot about it today. I think what's more significant, Maria, is we're going into Labor Day, and we're having the same conversation about the Clinton campaign that we had on Memorial Day. And it's had a very deleterious effect on the polls and Hillary Clinton's standings in the eyes of viewers. If you put this in business terms, politics is a marketplace like any other. And Hillary Clinton is a defective product that has been launched recently. And when you have a defective product in a startup, the investors get worried. So the question now, I think, is will her investors stay on, or are they going to look for a hedge to hedge their bets moving forward?
Yeah, and that hedge could be Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders. Richard, that's a good analogy, Mark. Thanks for that. Richard, what do you think about how Hillary takes her campaign from here? Does she continue to act like the email controversy is just not a big deal?
So I think Hillary Clinton will keep doing what she's been doing. She's talking about college affordability and revitalizing rural America and tax changes that might help the middle class and clean energy, while her political opponents are talking about email and Benghazi. That is a debate. One side is talking about ways to help people's lives, and the other is talking about things that have nothing whatsoever to do with people's lives. And if it was true what Mark said, she wouldn't be beating every single Republican in the Real Clear Politics averages from then. From Memorial Day to now. If everything he said was true, she wouldn't still be running ahead. She is, and the reason she's running ahead is because she's talking about things that actually matter to people's lives.
So what do you think she's talking about then?
I just ticked them off. I mean, the fact of the matter is, again,
what are the topics that Hillary's focused on right now?
Well, as I said, she talked about, the other day, she talked about revitalizing rural America. She's talked about tax changes. So that
what is her plan for tax changes?
Well, so she's changing the corporate tax laws so that employees can have the same benefits in the run-up of the values of these companies as the executives have, right? And so there's a virtue for the company executives to basically hire and maintain, and there's a link between productivity increases and salary increases. That's what she's trying to accomplish, which actually I have to imagine that's a bipartisan kind of objective as well. That's not just Democrats.
Yeah, no, I'm asking you these questions because I'm trying to really get some granularity on what you think are important to the American people. Because Eliana,
but nobody's reporting on that.
We're talking about the email scandal, and Richard's making a good point in terms of, look, she's talking about things that people care about and the others are not. But the truth is I think people do care about the overall, the overriding issue here, and that is integrity, honesty, and not being called a liar with these emails. How do you see it, Eliana?
Of course they do.
Right,
yeah, well, of course they do. And the Republican side of the race is a mess right now. I think every Republican would admit that. But if people really don't care, I wonder why the latest poll out of Iowa shows Bernie Sanders at 30% and Hillary Clinton at 37%. And same with New Hampshire. The numbers are very similar. And so I think the question is, what if the defective product is the best product out there? And I think that's the question that Democrats are facing right now.
Guys, Eliana, listen, those people polled in Iowa were asked, does this email controversy bother you? And by overwhelming percentages, the answer was no. Now, that raises the question, why did Hillary's margin shrink? But it's not because of emails. Oddly, I know
it's
her
because
political
she's a terrible candidate.
So
no.
Listen, what's the reason?
Eliana, listen. Let me talk about how terrible a candidate is. We think of Barack Obama being this fabulous candidate, right? In 2008. Hillary Clinton got more primary votes than Barack Obama did.
Richard.
She
lost.
Listen, 1 second. She got more primary votes. She won California, New York, Florida, Texas. No, I understand she lost, but the point is, if she was that bad a candidate, why would she have beaten the best candidate of all time in votes?
Well,
Mark, final word, Mark. Go ahead. Mark, final word,
Look,
Mark.
Maria, the New York Times, the Washington Post, MSNBC, look, these right now are Hillary's opponents because the Republicans don't have to say anything. It's Democrats, it's the media who are taking a closer look at the FBI investigation. I can't imagine having a front runner who's being investigated by the FBI. She's lost 20 points in the polls since May. She is a miserable candidacy. And she is going to be challenged, I think, by Joe Biden because the donors in this race are going to be nervous supporting her moving forward.
And even,
it's Democrats that she has a problem with.
Richard, even if Joe Biden doesn't get in the race, she's got the hot breath of Bernie Sanders on the back of her neck.
That's right.
Well, I think the important thing to take away from this also is, do you care about the email scandal is a different question from do you think this candidate is honest and trustworthy? Yeah. And people may not be following the blow-by-blow, but they do not think she's an honest candidate.
All really important points to make. Richard, Mark, great to have your insights this morning. We appreciate your time very much. Thank you.